Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So I got XRP up here on the chart right now, trading at 38.9. More of the same, guys, not too much movement. For XRP, I mean, over the last few days, we have seen a bit of an increase. Last couple of days since Monday, we did see a price increase. For XRP, it did rally about 7%, and then it's come back down. But I mean, these fluctuations, nothing really to get too excited about. I mean, if we were to see this kind of move in traditional stock markets, it's a little more notable, but for crypto, I mean, we were used to the volatility. So, 7%, who cares? I got Bitcoin on the hourly too, and, same kind of move since Monday. But, over the last day or so, we've just seen, all the cryptocurrencies basically just kind of vacillating in these new levels. Bitcoin right now trading at 17,800. So it did reach 18,100. That was yesterday morning. It did come back down again. So we are slowly creeping up. I mean, I did a video just yesterday where, we were looking at some of the technicals for XRP, taking a look at some historical ascending consolidation patterns from the XRP chart and comparing them to today's consolidation pattern. Anyway, I won't get into it. If you guys do want to check out that video, I will link it up here in the top right hand corner. I mean, maybe, just maybe, we're ready to see an XRP move to the upside. Of course, that would be undoubtedly dependent on the outcome of the lawsuit, so maybe in the next couple of months. But guys, this is the breaking news within the last 24 hours. This coming from Eleanor Turret here on Twitter. Breaking: SBF's request for bail has been denied as the judge believes him to be a flight risk. Eleanor Turret continues by saying, he will be sent to the Bahamas Department of Corrections until February the 8th. So he will be spending the holidays behind bars. And I'm seeing a few people now posting these GIF images here. You'll be okay, Sam. Jail cameras will ensure your safety. And if I have to describe what this means, it certainly won't have the same impact. Those in the know certainly do know. SBF here leaving the courts in handcuffs. So here's some footage, guys, posted by Simon Dixon here on Twitter. As you guys can see here, you can see real closely here, SBF is leaving. Let's check out all these SWAT vehicles. Somebody down here was even saying, the theatrics, SWAT, heavy on the theater. It's all part of the show, says G. Enjoy. It's all fake drama. Government wants to save its skin from the gibberish tongue of SBF. That coming from Ubrieve here on Twitter. Some other people asking when Alex Mashinsky, so the creator of the Celsius network, maybe that will be an arrest for another day. Anyway, Sam Bankman-Fried walked out in handcuffs. Meanwhile, his parents were at his hearing in the Bahamas, and his mother laughed during the entire proceedings. No, you cannot make this up. This is coming from Michael Branch here on Twitter. Sam Bankman-Fried's parents were at his hearings in the Bahamas, and his mother laughed during the proceedings, reports have said. So Sam Bankman-Fried appeared at a hearing in the Bahamas on Tuesday with his parents in attendance. At the hearing, which largely focused on if Bankman-Fried would be released on bail, the former FTX CEO indicated that he was not waiving his rights to challenge his extradition to the U.S., according to a CoinDesk report. The site, which was reporting live from Nassau in the Bahamas, broke the news of the financial links between FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried's trading firm Alameda Research in early November. During the proceedings, Sam Bankman-Fried's mother, Barbara Fried, laughed when her son was called a fugitive, according to CoinDesk, which described his parents as showing both dejection and defiance. She also clenched her jaw and chewed on the frames of her glasses. Wow. The detail there. His father, Joseph Bankman, occasionally put his finger in his ear as if to drown out the sound of the proceedings. After the hearing, which ended with Bankman-Fried being denied bail, both parents gave him a hug, as per the Times. So, we're getting some reports here on now how his parents are behaving. Of course, they're not stupid people. They know they're being watched. They know they are being analyzed. So, I mean, do they think this could benefit his case? Do they think that, maybe somebody would notice and this would have an effect? Or are they simply doing this because they know the game is rigged and their son will come out of this gloriously and victoriously regardless? John Deaton was also making the rounds, guys, on Fox Business News. This coming from the Crypto Law Twitter handle. Listen to this.
There was one thing that caught your attention from the SEC Division of Enforcement when he sort of said, hey, the non-compliance, these exchanges, these trading platforms that are not in compliance, he really shot across the bow. And initially, I was just thinking that was for offshore only, but you say no. That applies to big names like Coinbase and others.
Absolutely. That is, Gary Gensler keeps saying, come in and talk to us. right? But that is a direct message to Kraken, Coinbase, the largest U.S. publicly traded exchange. And I want to take note of something. Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, last year complained that he couldn't get a meeting with Gary Gensler, and he runs the largest publicly traded exchange in the United States, yet Sam Bankman-Fried could. And so this is the problem we have, Charles. We have regulation by enforcement, something that Lisa and I could probably agree on. In the meantime, while he's meeting with Sam Bankman-Fried, he's got the Library case, non-fraud, the Ripple case, non-fraud, Dragon Chain, non-fraud, Kim Kardashian. Like, he's pursuing these non-fraud cases, but not telling Coinbase which cryptos might be securities.
So the SEC, too, obviously a big part of this story. And John Deaton, tying in what is happening with Sam Bankman-Fried to what is going on at the SEC. Stefan Hubert also bringing this up. Okay, the best thing is that the SEC doesn't charge SBF for selling unregistered securities. The word unregistered appears 0 times. Isn't that interesting, considering they basically did create the FTT coin out of thin air? They also don't call FTT an unregistered security like they do XRP. Interesting. But simply a token. FTT is sufficiently decentralized, just like Bitcoin and Ethereum, at least according to them. And so here's the summary with regards to the Sam Bankman-Fried lawsuit. He also does post a link down here, and I will link this in the description of the video if you guys want to read further. Down here, just a little bit more information, including the FTT token, the native crypto asset of the FTX exchange. So at no point does the SEC even consider FTT an unregistered security. I mean, I don't know if it's because of context. You know, this case is not necessarily about trading unregistered securities so much as it is about bigger, widespread fraud. And the fact that, basically this exchange, the CEOs weren't acting responsibly. So, I mean, that could be the reason. However, it is an interesting observation. So the FTX hearings were going on yesterday. This is what Congress needs to be doing: investigate and provide oversight on the SEC for its failure on FTX. Guys, this is Tom Emmer. Listen to what he has to say.
We know that Chair Gensler had more meetings with FTX than anyone else in the crypto industry. We understand that what was being negotiated was a framework for digital asset exchange registration and token registration with the SEC that would benefit both parties. It would expand the SEC's jurisdiction in exchange for the SEC's preferential treatment of FTX over other industry participants. We understand there was a lot of activity to move this idea forward, including the circulation of draft short-form disclosures that would enable filers to get tokens listed on this newly formed bespoke exchange. Mr. Ray, I know you're handicapped with the information you currently have obtained, but Chair Gensler refuses to answer our questions or testify before this committee. Will you commit to sharing with this committee any internal documents you come across regarding communication between FTX and Mr. Gensler or others at the SEC?
We'll fully cooperate, with the committee and the regulatory authorities with respect to our investigation.
Again, specifically, I just want copies. This committee will want copies of those communications to the extent they exist.
We can certainly work with your staff to get you what you need.
Thank you.
So Gary Gensler, as you heard here from Tom Emmer, has refused to participate, has refused to testify. And so, he's asking Mr. Ray here, are you willing to, provide us with the documents that we need in order to get down to the bottom of this? And Mr. Ray agrees, obviously being compliant. And for those of you who do not know, Mr. Ray is, in fact, the current CEO of FTX. Just to give you guys some context there. Wheezy at Nerd Nation Unboxed also posting this. Wow, this is even worse than we thought. Okay, so get a load of this.
Let me dive in. A day after FTX filed for bankruptcy, multiple outlets reported that there was a hack or potential theft. You have stated unauthorized access to certain assets occurred and that the company was in touch with law enforcement officials and regulators. Have you determined whether, in fact, assets were moved out after the bankruptcy?
Yes, clearly there was assets moved out after the bankruptcy.
And do you know whether or not that was an actual hack, or was this done, as has been reported, at the direction of the Bahamian authorities?
It was both.
It was both. And so some was done. Some was done as a result of a hack. Some was done as a result of the request of the Bahamian authorities.
Yes, that's right.
And do you have indication as to why the Bahamian authorities made that request?
Well, it wasn't a request. They just took it.
the Bahamian authorities took the funds that were at FTX
Yes.
through their own action. Was no action required by FTX employees? Maybe you could provide just a little color.
They were aided by the ex-employees, yes.
They were aided by former employees
Yes,
of FTX.
Yes, Mr. Wang and Mr. Fried.
Is it in the eyes of the Bahamian authorities did this to protect clients and creditors? What was the do you have insight into the motivation behind this action?
Unlike the Chapter 11 process, there's no transparency in the process in the Bahamians, and we've repeatedly asked them for clarity about what they've been doing, and we've been shut down on that.
So the Bahamian authorities have apparently, according to John Ray, current CEO of FTX, had actually gone into FTX's accounts and confiscated funds, user funds. Now, we don't know what they were doing with those, as John Ray is not able to provide us with a detailed explanation about that. However, that does sound fishy. I mean, there could be malicious intent. I mean, if the Bahamian government wasn't on the up and up, maybe they were taking some money for themselves. I want to put good intentions forward, though, and maybe they were doing it to protect clients so that FTX would not further hurt customers and account balances. So we really just don't know. But now this is coming out, guys, in this hearing. And I got to say, Wheezy, yeah, that is not something I was expecting. So this isn't looking good. It's certainly not looking good to FTX, nor is it looking good for the people connected with FTX. Wheezy at Nerd Nation Unbox also posting this, okay? Maxine Waters getting a little persnippety here.
Thank you very much. Without objection, I would like to enter into the record the closing statements from Ranking Member McHenry and myself. And I'd like to thank you, Mr. John Ray III.
Chairwoman Waters.
For your presence here today.
Chairwoman Waters, I've not had an opportunity to testify or to question the witness.
I'd like to thank you for your presence.
Chairwoman Waters,
And for the time.
parliamentary inquiry.
Yes.
Are all members entitled to question witnesses?
You are, and if you would like to miss the votes on the floor for everybody.
Hey, it's
just
the
one
chairwoman's
moment.
prerogative to call
Just
a recess.
one moment,
That's your
please.
decision, not mine.
Just one moment, please. You may go right ahead and have 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're certainly welcome.
Oh, geez. She's trying to get away with something there, looking fairly obvious. Guys, this is crazy. Can you believe this is happening? Black XRP Ninja Dev down here saying she's trying to hide something. Cash Out down here saying, just her showing her corrupt self, so arrogant. Now, I mean, there have been ties to the Democratic Party, FTX. We know that FTX was a large contributor to the Democratic Party. We've also heard about murmurings that there could have been money laundered through FTX to the Ukraine. And I did videos on this last month when this news was breaking. I'll see if I can find a specific one and link it up here in the top right-hand corner for you. So guys, this is what's going on now, and I'm going to keep you posted on the updates. Now, switching over to some XRP news, we're continuously seeing positive developments in the space. Businesses can now pay employee salaries in XRP, guys. This coming from DJ Peter Vass on Twitter. So top-rated cryptocurrency payment gateway Now Payments has recently revealed that employers can now use its solution to pay employees salaries in XRP. Now Payments noted in a recent blog post that paying salaries in XRP would help boost the company's efficiency while reducing transaction costs. So just to give you guys some context, back in the summer, these guys were also saying that you can pay people with Shiba coin or Shib coin, Shiba Inu. But now they're moving towards a more serious cryptocurrency, namely XRP. Paying employees salaries in XRP comes with numerous perks, including eliminating the delay associated with the traditional financial system by offering rocket-fast transactions. Now Payments said other benefits associated with paying salaries in XRP include security, low transaction fees, borderless payments, privacy, and transparency. And guys, here's a quote from the organization. Paying salaries in XRP allows you to significantly reduce transaction costs, increase efficiency of financial transactions, as well as get rid of a large number of intermediaries. Now Payments noted in their blog post. They say that if you want to use XRP or pay salaries in XRP, you must use their mass payouts feature for the initiative. The mass payouts feature allows users to send crypto to multiple recipients. So again, for businesses created to be able to pay your employees with XRP specifically. A use case that never fazed me, the 2-week payout, right? For employers to pay out employees, that is going to be a thing of the past. I remember Brad Garlinghouse talking about this a few years ago. When you clock in and clock out, you wait 2 weeks for your paycheck. Well, there are a lot of people that just cannot wait those 2 weeks. And so to be able to pay essentially through the blockchain, through, companies like this, and I'm sure they have an automated process, right? If you log in or however you let work know that you are there at work, working, the automated process will likely go through the blockchain. And theoretically, you can get paid minutes after you clock out in the evening, an 8-hour shift. That is going to be a new way to pay employees. And, XRP obviously being used in this kind of capacity now, and likely we'll see more of this kind of thing in the future. So interesting, Now Payments is enabling XRP payments for employees of businesses. Guys, I also saw this from 801_XRP on Twitter, okay? This is Melinda Gates from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Speaking of what looks like an IMF event, okay? Listen to what she had to say about payments, digital rails being laid down specifically for vulnerable populations. Listen to this.
Melinda.
Thank you. I think, first of all, there is absolutely nothing that we do as a foundation that isn't in partnership with others. It's the only way to get things to move forward on behalf of the world, and particularly in women. So let me give a couple of very specific economic examples of how to pull women into the economy. India. We have been working with India now for over 20 years. When the pandemic broke out, luckily, they had already done two things. In an open sourced way, we had been working with them in their regulatory environment to start laying the digital rails down. They had a national ID system, and they already had digital bank accounts en masse out in the population. What happened during COVID was, of course, many people got pushed out of the workforce and were at home. What they knew was to make good social protection payments, they should run those through the digital rails into the digital bank accounts and get them in the hands of women. Because the prime minister and the government knew that if a woman had that social protection payment, the way she spent it was for her family and her household. Now, what is happening in India is because of these digital rails, where the prices are basically zero to put money in and out of the system, literally millions of people are using them, hundreds of millions, and they are finally reaching the last mile. They're actually reaching poor women with digital bank accounts, and they're reaching the middle class and high income.
They are reaching the last mile, guys, and the reason, there are many reasons why I think Melinda Gates here is talking about XRP. Well, first off, and it's only because I've been in the space for so long, I remember when Ashish Birla mentioned this. Ripple claims that it had 50% share in India and inroads to global markets. Now, if you guys weren't here at that point, Ashish Birla, was very proud to say that Ripple had 50% of India, and that in the future, we were likely going to see more Ripple and XRP adoption in India specifically. And Melinda Gates in this clip was talking specifically about laying down the rails in India and how, that has been the case even before the pandemic. But because of these digital rails and because they have been laid down, they were able to, and she gives the example of women in this specific case, they were able to distribute funds, and it was fast and efficient and very affordable. Let's also not forget, guys, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has a partnership with the Moja Loop Foundation, and back in 2020, they did commit some money to this to support establishment and early operation of a new open source software foundation to host collaborative development of the Moja Loop open source software in furtherance of financial inclusion through the Level 1 principles. And some of the regions served here, while globally, Africa and Asia, and I'm sure Asia does include Southeast Asia, and countries like India. And guys, finally, of course, let's not forget Ripple and the Moja Loop Foundation creating a more financially inclusive future. So you can see the connections there. I know for some of you guys in the space who have been in the space for a while, maybe I'm being a little redundant, but considering now we're hearing it from Melinda Gates, to me it only makes sense that they would be using the XRP ledger for these types of transactions, and the fact that they're moving money fast and securely likely means that they're using the XRP token, guys. And so we are at an inflection point in this crypto market. We do need to iron out a few kinks. We got to get the FTX thing behind us, and of course, XRP needs that clarity in the United States. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.